Hey guys, it's Otti again. I'm sitting on the Jera On Air festival. Besides me, two guys from the band By Artist Murder. Hi, first of all.
How you doing?
Hi.
Good, how are you?
We've met here to do some interview, but maybe first of all, because people that kick in maybe don't know exactly who you are, you can say your name and what's your instrument or part of the band.
My name's Tyler, and I'm the vocalist.
And I'm Andy, and I'm the guitar player in My Artist Murder.
And imagine someone who never heard of your band. How would you describe what you do and what it sounds like?
5 idiots playing metal together, you know?
Idiots I wouldn't say, but I think metal should fit, yes. Yeah. And to say it like this, you're from down under, right?
I am Tyler's not. Well, he's from a different
I
town.
am from Tennessee.
Okay. This is funny, like, yes, I with the round tracks, they went from Australia too, but also have some American guys now. So yeah, it's a little bit more mixed, more international.
Yeah. The internet kind of changed the game for music now. I think it's not so uncommon for bands to come from different states, different cities, different coasts, and now even different countries. So in our band, like, I'm a dual citizen of the United States and Australia. Mm-hmm. Tyler's from the United States, our drummer Jesse is also from the United States. And then we have 2 other guys from Australia, so...
really mixed. Yeah. So you need someone from Asia and someone from Europe, and you can say...
Yeah, it would be a world
band, yeah. But it's...
World supergroup.
This is interesting, so you don't... you are not a rehearsal band like others nowadays. You would say, like, everyone rehearses on its own, and then you meet for tours, for example, or how does this work?
I think as far as like today, how music is today, you don't really have to get together and like just jam music. That is definitely cooler, but like most people nowadays are like writing music on their computer and then sending it to their other band members to like give their take on their, like, the song is done and then the song will get sent to the vocalist to put rough vocals on to have an idea for when you go into the studio finally. But before tours and stuff, we do rehearse for like a day or 2.
Okay.
As a band.
Yeah, sure. I think then it's important to get some vibes together. Some like live vibes, probably.
For sure. It's different also on the tour schedule. So we finished a tour in the United States 7 weeks ago. So when we started this tour 4 weeks ago, we only need to rehearse for an hour.
Yeah.
But before the last tour, we didn't do a show for 6 months. So then maybe it's 2 days of rehearsing, a little bit more.
Yeah, I see. And we have to say you are rather new to the band. So what has been your connection to the band before? Have you been friends, for example?
I've known my connection to the band is I used to be, for a very small stint, I used to be in a band from Australia called Aversion's Crown. It was just another fast death metal band, and I recorded the album with them at Will Putney's, and we just that band knew The Art Is Murder, and then I just met them all through that band. And like we were doing about to do a tour together before COVID happened, and that's where I like physically met all of them, and they just knew me from that.
You knew he was a good guy.
Yeah, this history starts 16 years ago, really. So Kevin, the bass player in the art for 10 years now, was one of the founding members of Aversion's Crown.
Oh, okay.
And then early in their career, I produced their records in Australia, and so the band became more popular. They got signed to Nuclear Blast also after we did, and so our bands have been friends for a super long time and like kind of intertwined. And then Will Putney obviously has made 5 records, I think now, maybe, with The Art Is Murder. He's a good friend of mine, and so Tyler is recording the vocals for Aversion's Crown. He was like, hey, this guy's voice is really, really good, and he's a super nice guy, so you should maybe give him a call. So, and that's how it all kind of came together.
Yeah, great. And we can maybe talk a little bit about you all. You both got into the metal scene. So, what has been your first connection to metal when you were young, or when you still are young?
He's young, I'm old.
I think my first introduction to metal when I was younger was probably, I guess when I actually first started listening to metal, it was probably System of a Down, and I was a huge System of a Down fan for years, probably going like 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, and then eventually I found my way into like Metallica land, and Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine and bands like that, and basically progressed into like metalcore. And then when I finally decided to be a vocalist, I kind of went more into like the deathcore, death metal world. But, you know, I think it all basically started with System of a Down, maybe Linkin Park too.
And you?
Me, maybe Tony Hawk's Pro Skater or something like this, you know, with the big punk rock kind of catalogue of music in the game. And other video games and stuff when you're in high school and you're like 13, 14, 15. And then I wanted to play guitar. So when you want to get better at guitar, punk is too easy. So you try to find music that is more challenging to learn and play. And so you eventually end up with metal bands and go, oh, this music's kind of crazy. And that's just kind of how you pursue like the instrument a little bit more, is through more challenging music. And metal, in my opinion, is one of the more difficult styles of music to play guitar for. So
I have very vivid memories of playing that game as a kid too. I was like 9 years old.
And it's got all this loud music and you're like, yeah, this is sick.
It's a vibe.
Do you still find time to play video games sometimes, or are you active players?
I mean, I've got my Switch in my backpack right now. I'm trying to go back through and play a Zelda game. And I have a PS5 at home. When I'm there, I'm either playing like, right now, I'm playing Elden Ring or trying to play Dragon's Dogma, but haven't really had that much time lately, so it's been mostly Switch and just playing Zelda.
Some easy thing you can turn on and off in between.
Yeah.
Nothing too deep. See. And I think we can't talk too much about the story of your band, but maybe you can at least, are you a founding member? I'm not sure now. Founding member of the artist nowadays?
No, I've been in the band for 15 years now. I mean, in a way, I guess this new era of artist murder, it began like Lee and Sean, like two of our friends. Sean was still in the band. Lee left maybe 5 or 6 years ago. They were just jamming in their garage, and then they made like an EP. And then things started getting serious, and they wanted to do shows, and then that's where I came into it.
Okay. And maybe you can tell a little bit from your side from the band, and maybe you, what you have done before. What have been the coolest concerts you had so far? Maybe 2 or 3.
Coolest concerts?
Yeah. Or weirdest, maybe weirdest.
So difficult to, over a career, to define like just a few. I will say we play a lot of shows. I think we must have done about 1,000 shows now. And what makes live music special, making an album, is you can take your time and make everything perfect, but I might have a perfect show for me, but Tyler might not have the perfect show. And then tomorrow he might have a great show and I'll have a terrible show. But maybe 2 or 3 times a year, all 5 of us are just on fire, and you look around the stage and you go, that was one of them. I think Rock in Park this year so far might be one of the great ones.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so every year you get a few, and when that happens, that's the magic of playing live music to me.
And are you looking forward to this show? How do you prepare for this show after this interview?
I slept in. I just woke up like an hour ago.
Sleep, come here, eat, and then just basically just hang out until about 15 minutes before we got woke over there, and then we play. It's not really nothing too like intensive to do. I mean, like warm my jaws up. It's a stretch, and that's about it. Yeah.
Stretching is important, and hydration. But that's about it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Maybe you can talk a little bit about your current album, Godlike.
Yeah, sure.
So it's about a year ago, I don't know when exactly.
Yeah, about 9 months ago.
Yeah, 9 months ago. So looking back at this, what are you really proud about for that record?
I think we just challenged ourselves in new ways and were more experimental. This album is very different from our other records in that it's our first album that's independent worldwide, so we could run on our own time schedule and make sure that the touring and everything else worked with when we wanted the album to come out. But also we recorded the album over a period of about 9 months. And normally we record our albums in the period of about 3 weeks. So having this extra time, I think gave us the opportunity to try new things, new sounds, and experiment a little bit more than we have in the past. So we did 3 writing sessions where we would go for 2 weeks and just write some some songs, and then have a break, think about them, and then have another writing camp, do some more songs. And then recording the record, we spent maybe 2 months, which is a lot longer. So changing new sounds and working on the songs for a lot more, as opposed to be like, oh, we gotta finish, the record label's paying, we gotta finish in 3 weeks. So this was like a new luxury for us, and I found it very enjoyable.
And for you, being rather new in the band, what was challenging compared to your former band? What was different regarding vocals, for example?
Well, whenever I was contacted, I wasn't doing anything musically. I quit Aversion's Crown a year prior, and I was in another like local band back home too, and I quit both of those bands just to like be with my family and just do stuff and take care of my daughters and stuff. And so I hadn't done anything musically, and then I randomly got a text from him one day, and I was like, oh, I wonder what this is. And then just some talks happened, and then all of a sudden I'm getting thrown in the studio to try to get an album done in a week's time. So I went up there, jumped in there, and I recorded 2 songs a day. So I was screaming for about 6 hours a day to try to get it done as fast as I could, because I knew that time was of the essence. So I guess that was the biggest stressor, was trying to get it done fast, and also the fact that I hadn't like really screamed that much in like a year. But I went in there, and surprisingly it wasn't that as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to get in there and not do a great job, but I went in there and it turned out being fine.
And he recorded the whole album sitting down.
Yeah. Anytime I record any vocal thing, whether it's like a cover or that, or in the studio, I'm always sitting down. And like, there's no point for me to stand up. I don't want to stand up for that long and sweat and whatever, because I sweat sitting down. So.
But you don't on stage sit down.
I would if it wouldn't ruin the.
Maybe you should bring him a chair today.
If you give me a chair, I'll sit down the entire time.
I thought you were older. But you have to sit, and you are there. No.
I'd say it wasn't really difficult per se. It was probably just more stressful, just because the time was of the essence and we needed to get things done.
Good. And now you're touring together, and I think things are really cool. Are you working together on new material, so we can?
Not yet. We've just been touring, so.
Okay.
I think now we have a big break, so we have the opportunity to work on some new music.
I think this is important to you to have some really own songs, maybe in future you can sing it.
Yeah.
Do you normally write lyrics?
Yeah, in my past bands I've written lyrics. I wrote lyrics in the last Aversion's Crown album, and the local band that I was in, I wrote all the lyrics in it too.
So in future this will be your part, and you have some ideas maybe?
Yeah, I will try to help out as much as I can. It's more of like usually people think of like in bands, they think it's like the vocalist doing all the vocal work, but really like it's the band putting in equal effort on everything. So that's a big misconception.
Yes. So and after this show, for example, what's coming next? You mentioned a break, maybe.
Yeah, big break. We have some shows later this year, and then we're working on stuff for next year and the year after. So. We just try to find the gaps where there won't be touring, and then we can maybe focus on working on music in those kind of time periods.
And I hope later then we can talk again.
Yeah,
so when the new material is coming. So do you have some greetings, some message, some bye-bye to the people now?
Thanks for making our summer festival tour, the biggest one that we've ever had. Been coming here for 12 years, and this one's been crazy. And we can't wait to see everyone in Europe in 2025.
Yeah, it's been super sick. It's been an incredible experience for me. It's definitely been the biggest shows I've ever played, and I'm grateful that everyone has been accepting of me on vocals. Most of you, anyway. I know not all of you are, but I can't please all of you, but thank you anyway.
So great, thank you. It was a nice talk.
All right.
Thank you.
You guys outside, thanks for watching. Check them out. They are Murder, great band. And see ya, bye.
See ya.